Kansas City's nonprofit voice. We're telling the stories of Kansas City nonprofits and the people behind them. Casey Cares is the intersection of the profit and nonprofit communities, making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. Casey Cares is proudly sponsored by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation. I'm Ruth Baum-Biggis. Johnson County, Kansas is known as one of the most affluent places to live in both the metro area and across the country. Yet the county is not immune to growing problems of homelessness. According to recent statistics, many of those experiencing homelessness in the county are in their 20s and 30s. Some face job insecurity issues, and many have been victims of violence or face physical challenges. Until 2015, there was no place for adults to go and find temporary shelter if they were homeless. That's an especially bad situation in the winter months. Well, Barb McEver and Dee Askeland decided to step up and help those individuals, creating Project 1020, providing shelter for those who need it most. And we're so fortunate to have Barb with us today, talking about Project 2020. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And I think I really butchered your partner's last name. So please, for our listeners, make good. I feel bad that I really did that.
It's Dean Askeland.
Askeland. So let's talk about what Project 1020 is today. And then I want to kind of take us back because you have such a cool story to share.
Thank you. Well, today we are, like you said, we're an overnight cold weather shelter for adults in Johnson County that are experiencing homelessness. We're located in Lenexa, Kansas. We are open every night from December 1st to April 1st.
How do people find you, or do you find them?
It's mainly word of mouth, but we do provide transportation every night. We go to different pickup spots within Johnson County and pick people up. We have vans that run every night, pick them up and bring them to the shelter. But really over the years, it's just word of mouth. They find us, but we do provide the transportation.
Now, is your home a self-standing building?
No, we're located in the Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church, otherwise known as Smooch.
I love that.
Yeah, it's much shorter. But in 2019, we approached the church. It used to be an elementary school. It used to be Bonjour Elementary. Okay. And so it's a large building. And we approached them in 2019, told them what we do, and asked them for space in their church. And they've given us quite a bit of space there. And that's where we operate the shelter from December to April.
We can't be there right now, of course. So can you draw a picture for us or create a snapshot of what the space looks like? What's there? And how does it all work?
It's, if you picture an elementary school, it's all one floor, all one level. We have kind of a wing. And this year we'll have 5 sleeping rooms. We have 2 dining rooms, and we're super excited. We're putting in showers right now. They're working today. They're putting in 4 showers, which is huge for Project 1020. But it's just really cool. We're in the back of the church. You just kind of come around the back of the church, open the doors, come in, check in, and then everybody puts their things away. We have small we call them lockers, but they're bins where people can put their belongings. And then they head on into the dining rooms where we have dinner served every night. We have volunteers that bring in dinner every night. And then we have 2 dining rooms. We have big screen TVs in there. Sit down, have a good meal, relax, warm up. And that's how we operate. We'll be open this year from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m.
How many folks do you see in general nightly? And how many can you have?
The city allows us to shelter 30 people each night. We generally see during that 4-month period, we'll see somewhere between 150 to 250 different individuals throughout those months.
That you're really providing a bedroom, a living room, a home for the night is what it sounds like, where there is no home otherwise.
That's exactly what we're doing. I want to provide, I get emotional when I start thinking
That's
about
okay.
I wanted a warm place for people to come in and get a good night's sleep, a meal, to have some togetherness and a feeling of community and feel like that they were okay. I feel it's really important that people know that they matter. And that's what we have. That's what we've done. That's what we strive for. People come through the doors at night and you can feel a release. You can feel that they know that there's someplace safe where people truly care about them and things are going to be okay for the night. And that's huge to me.
Well, it's so wonderful that you, and I know you have a great core of volunteers, and I want to talk a little bit about that and share what opportunities there might be for people to help. But I want to go and talk a little bit about poverty and homelessness in Johnson County. Can you share with us really what the situation is? As I mentioned in the intro, I think we are lulled into a false sense that there is no poor person or homeless person in Johnson County.
Right. One of the richest counties around. I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to homelessness, like how it happens, who it happens to. We see such a variety of situations that have created someone to, come to our shelter. Homelessness, for most people, it probably doesn't look like what they think, if that makes any sense. I started noticing back in 2014, what I felt like were people that might be experiencing homelessness, and it's just grown throughout the county. There's so many reasons why it happens. COVID has really made a huge impact on homelessness in our county.
How you had mentioned that there are regular pickup spots. I wasn't even familiar with the concept that there might be usual areas that folks gather, maybe together, to be warm for the night. Is it in any particular part of the county? Enlighten us.
Each year it varies a little bit because we don't know who we're going to have, since we're only open those 4 months. You don't know who you're going to have. So we kind of vary our pickup spots depending on the people that we have each winter. We pick up a lot of people in Olathe, and we have about 4 or 5 different spots in Olathe that we go to. And everybody knows this is where you need to go if you need a ride to the shelter. We pick up people in Lenexa. We pick up people at bus stops. We pick up people in Shawnee, all over the county. And it just, however it works out, it always works out. Everybody has my phone number. They're calling. I'm telling them where to go. And that's how we do it. We kind of cater our pickup spots to the clientele that we have for that winter.
Do you provide any other services while they're there, or link them to connect them? Because it's probably not a one-night problem.
Right. Oh, definitely. We do. Johnson County Mental Health Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, Restart. They've partnered with us as far as, we kind of work together to help the people that we serve. At the shelter, like I said, we provide a meal every night, and the meals are unbelievable. We have the volunteers that bring in the meals. I mean, it's like a spread that's really cool to see. And we have a supply closet, where we have toiletries, we have clothes, we have boots, shoes, hats, gloves, medicines, like Tylenol and all that kind of stuff. We provide all that type of, all those things that people need. And then, like I said, the transportation. And then this last year, or 2021, because of a grant, we were able to hire a case manager. So that's really huge. We have a small office in Olathe where he is at, and he'll be there year round. He can help people in getting their IDs, their birth certificate, food stamps, Medicaid. We help people get to their doctor's appointments, anything that they might need, because the goal is to make your way out of homelessness, but it's such a maze of things that you have to go through in order to take those steps. And when you have nowhere to keep all your belongings and you're carrying them with you all the time, it's easy to lose things. Things get wet, things get stolen, and it's hard for people to maneuver. I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, they just need to get a job, but that's difficult when you don't have a place to sleep at night, to get a good night's rest, where you can't change your clothes and feel presentable. And getting your ID, getting your birth certificate, getting your social security card, all those things are really hard. It's not, you may not have, you don't have the means, you don't have the transportation, you don't have a computer, everything's so difficult. And so we're there to just hopefully walk alongside people and help them get what they need and maybe get a fresh start.
Well, that's pretty marvelous, I have to tell you. Now, have you, in the course of being open, and I know you've kind of moved from place to place a little bit, have you been able to help some of your guests that come to you nightly? Have there been some, quote, success stories or step ups, as it were?
There definitely have. We have lots of them. I keep in touch with, I couldn't tell you how many people over the years, but we've helped a lot of people make their way into housing, reunite with family. We have lots of success stories that warm my heart. That's
really wonderful. The work you do. We're talking with Barb McEver, Project 1020. Okay, the name. Mm-hmm. I've been wondering. It's probably very obvious, but help me out here.
Well, when we started back in 2015 was our first year, we thought that we could shelter 10 people when it was forecast to be 20 degrees or colder. And so for our first 3 years, we were operating when it was 20 degrees or colder. Our first year, we sheltered somewhere between 5 and 10 people each night that we were open. And it was just Dean and I. We bought 10 cots, some blankets, and a coffee pot. And a church welcomed us and let us come in. We couldn't open until about 9 o'clock at night, and we couldn't store our things in the church. So we put a van in the parking lot, and every night we would get everything out of the van, set it up, and every morning we would put it all back in this van. And then our second and third year, we moved to a different church that gave us a little more space, and we could store belongings, our things there, like the cots and the blankets and things like that. The second year, we started providing transportation, and I would bring in homemade goodies. That was what we were doing those nights. Our second and third year, we sheltered between 20 and 33 people each night that we were open. Our third year, the parents of a man that stayed the year before began providing dinner every night that we were open. So they would bring dinner for 30 people every night that we were open. That was amazing. They were wonderful. And then in 2018, we bought a building. My husband and I bought a building in Olathe with the permission of the city of Olathe to run the shelter from that location. We were thrilled about it. It was a great location, set on a little over an acre, and I had big dreams for that building. About 5 months after we bought the building, the city contacted us and said that they had decided to rezone that area so we couldn't use the building. It was quite a blow because we found that out on November 8th, I believe it was, and we opened December 1st.
Wow.
So luckily, another church in Olathe heard about it. They contacted me and said, we've got space in our church that you can use if you would like. So I went down, looked at the space. I thought we can make this happen. We moved all of our stuff there and we opened the very next day. And we had this freak snowstorm. And the pastor of the church called me and said, you have to open today. And I was like, okay. Okay, we can do this. So we opened up that night, and that year we started being open every night in 2018-19, the winter of 18-19. So we opened every night from, actually it was November 25th until April 1st. At that location, we could shelter 49 people, and we had 49 people every single night. And same thing, had dinner every night. Volunteers stepped up, and it was amazing. Then in 2019, my friend that started the shelter with me, Dean Asklin, he passed away that summer. And so then we found the location in Lenexa at the Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. And we've been there. This will be our third season at the church. They are amazing.
Well, I'm so glad that you have a quote unquote permanent home. At least you have for the last 3 years. You mentioned Dean, and I know that this whole organization would never have been created without the two of you. How did you mentioned seeing people around the community, but many of us do, and we don't go create somewhere for them to go. So would you share a little bit about how you and Dean really decided to do something and how you did it?
We talked a lot and started researching it. And we went to the different cities and county in Johnson County. And that's when we learned that if you were an adult in Johnson County without minor children with you, that we didn't have any shelter. And we just thought, the county had been talking about it for years, and we just thought nothing's happening. So let's see what we can do. And it's been amazing, the support from people. I mean, we've been, besides the grant for the case manager, it's 100% volunteer ran and all by donations. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to make this all happen. It takes a lot of organization and a lot of people chipping in and just stepping up and doing what needs to be done.
Did you call on friends? Were there other resources that you were able to reach out to, or organizations that stepped in? Or, I'm just amazed how you pulled this all together.
Well, until 2 years ago, my husband and I just funded everything. And then I thought, I need some help. And I want to grow. I want to do more, but we're pretty constricted in Johnson County as to what you can do, because none of the cities in Johnson County have ever had any ordinances for a homeless shelter of this type. So we just talked our heads off to everybody we could talk to, and did a lot of just a lot of talking. And churches, churches are a great way to get the word out, and they want to help. And so, like I said earlier, Johnson County Mental Health, Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, Restart, they're a great support and great help to us.
You're talking about you're 100% volunteer, except for your case manager now, which is great, but still organizing volunteers and all of that. How do you accomplish that?
Well, it takes a lot of volunteers to help me organize all that. We have a Sign Up Genius on our website. There's a Sign Up Genius, and you go on there and you can sign up to provide a meal or staff the shelter. We have volunteers that stay there all night long. And usually by mid-December, our meals are completely booked out until March 31st, which is amazing to me. I was mentioning when we were at our fourth year, when we were able to shelter 49 people each night, we served about 5,800 meals. And that's just amazing. And it couldn't be done without all the help.
So do you go out and recruit groups, or are people now finding you? And let's mention how people can sign up. Go ahead and free plug. We want you to do that.
Go to project1020.org and you can read all about us. And that's where you can sign up to donate. Donations are always great. And you can sign up to provide a meal, serve a meal, volunteer, staff the shelter. We're always looking for help. And it's amazing. Word of mouth. We've all got big mouths. It's amazing how, people are contacting us all the time saying, what can our book club, or what can our church, or what can our, group that, I belong to, what can we do to help? And everybody steps up and helps, and we make it happen. It's been a fight. Let me tell you, it's been a struggle because, like I said, there's so many misconceptions about homelessness, and people don't want to acknowledge it, and a lot of it is just educating yourself and finding out what really is going on in our county and how many people there are really struggling. Like I said, we serve 30 people every night, but I have to turn away, depending on the weather, I could turn away as many as 20 people in a night. We try to make other arrangements for them, but it's difficult. That's the worst thing in the world. Telling someone that we don't have any place for them to stay. We can offer meals. People will come in and have a meal only, and they can hang out and get warm for a while. But it's.
Now, are you there every night? I hope you aren't there. Not every night, because it's got to be tough.
I'm there every night. I usually show up a couple hours before the shelter opens to kind of get things going. And then I'm there every night until anywhere between 1 and 4. I have 2 volunteers, husband and wife, that have been with us this will be their 4th year. They're amazing. They come in every night at 1:00, and they're there from 1:00 until we close in the morning. And then we have volunteers spread throughout that during that time. But yeah, I'm there every night.
Wow.
I come home and try to get a little bit of sleep, and my family is very supportive. I have 6 grandkids, so.
Love that. Can I borrow one?
I'll share.
So, folks, they come in and they stay, and then they've got to go out into the world the next day. What is the hardest thing for you all as an organization that we could get people energized to do? You had mentioned your funding is always an issue.
Mm-hmm. Two things, I think, besides the things that I mentioned. First of all, homelessness is not just December through March. Those summer months, any night, I couldn't do it, but those summer months when it's really, really hot, we need a year-round shelter in Johnson County, and we also need a day center. We need somewhere where people can go during the day if they're not working. When COVID hit, it made it so much harder for people because things weren't open. We didn't have, the libraries in the past were considered a warming center, that type of thing. It's heartbreaking to try to help people figure out what they're going to do the next morning when we close. And we don't have answers. We desperately need a place for people to be during the daytime. My volunteers that I talked about, Jim and Jennifer Smith, that come every night. Jim was telling me last year, and I never ever really thought about this, that I have the best job. I get to welcome everybody in at night and do all that. They're there in the morning, getting everybody up and trying to get everybody out the door. And that's hard. When it's 20 minutes before we close and there are people still trying to figure out, where can I go? What am I going to do all day? And I have them calling me during the day saying, sorry, I'm at home. Saying, where can I go? I've been asked to leave such and such place, and there aren't any answers. I used to spend my days going and picking people up and kind of shuffling them around the county. And that's degrading. That's not any way for people to be treated.
What keeps you going then? I mean, you're bringing and you're welcoming, yes. And then, as you said, you've got to let them go out into the world, which is a very complex type of thing. So how do you keep moving forward?
Well, first of all, I think this is really, really important. I mean, I put a lot of thought into it before, Dean and I started the shelter, and it's something that I truly believe in. It's something I truly think is needed. The people that we serve keep me going. I mean, at the shelter, we have such a sense of, I'm sorry about the background. It's such a sense of community, and the people that stay at the shelter are so appreciative. They all help each other out. It is so, I don't even know the word. It feels so good at night. If, say, someone hasn't gotten there yet that we're used to seeing, other people within the shelter, guests in the shelter, will be saying, where is so-and-so? How come she's not here yet? And they're worried about each other. And they care about each other, and they care about us. They respect us, and that are volunteering there, and they keep us going, and they keep us going. And the more obstacles somebody puts in my way, the more I'm determined that, oh no, we're going to overcome that one and keep pushing forward. So that's what we do.
Well, we hope it doesn't become too tough, because the work you're doing in the community is tremendous. We want to thank you, Barb. And if you are experiencing homelessness in Johnson County, you need a place to go. If you're somebody who wants to support these efforts, you want to even go lobby lawmakers, check out the website, get in touch with Barb. It's project1020.org. Thank you so much, Barb. We really appreciate learning more about your story.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And nice to talk with you. I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there. Thank you for tuning in to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice. We're produced by Charitable Communications, and we're proudly sponsored by the Ewing, Marion Kaufman Foundation. If you would like to be a guest on KC Cares or underwriting opportunities to support our work, please visit our website at kccaresonline.org and spread the love. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at KC Cares Radio and Instagram at KC Cares Online. You can also catch us on ESPN 1510 AM and 94.5 FM radio at 8 a.m. Saturday mornings. Thank you for joining us on KC Cares.